Argus received another buff on the advanced server where the developers improved his base physical attack in exchange for removing a portion of his physical attack growth. They did that without changing his total base physical attack at level 15. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the physical attack stat without items or attack-enhancing emblems for both versions. As you can see, the Argus on the advanced server has a significantly higher base physical attack at level 1 and has equal base physical attack with the original server Argus at level 15. This basically means the Argus on the advanced server version is slightly more powerful than the Argus on the original server version from levels 1 to 14. Another buff they gave him is his second skill's ability to curse jungle creeps. Doing so allowed Argus to gain Malice Energy, which charges his enhanced attack, therefore slightly improving his jungle creep clearing efficiency. To give you a better idea how much the difference is, we will test Argus damage output from both versions. To save time, we won't be testing his first skill anymore since that is mainly used as a gap closer and for its control effect. Instead, we will focus on his main damage sources, which are Warmonger, his passive skill, and Meteoric Sword, his second skill. Because of the slight differences per level, we will only test both versions at levels 1, 4, 7, 10, and 13. To balance things off, we used the same emblem configuration for both versions. We also equipped both versions with identical items. Let's begin. As you saw, the higher the level became, the less significant the difference was. In other words, the peak of this buff is during the early game, especially from levels 1 to 4. Other people say it's not a buff, but simply an adjustment. In our opinion, that is false. It certainly is a buff since Argus will be able to get a portion of his attack growth in advance, thus making him more competitive than the original server Argus during the early game. Though it definitely is not something remarkable that will staple him to the meta board, but still, it is a buff. As for the buff they gave Argus' second skill, here's the comparison. As you saw, even though the difference was very little, the Argus on the advanced server was still capable of clearing the jungle camps quickly. Just like the buff they gave his base physical attack, we still think this is an extremely slight buff and will not put him on top of the meta, but still, this is a buff. Just not a very good one in our opinion. But then we thought, what if we test both versions at level 4? Will the advanced server Argus have a significant advantage? Let's see. To simulate a realistic setting, we gave both versions identical early game items. This time, the difference in jungling efficiency is pretty significant, but still, nothing remarkable. We think they really need to give him a buff on his critical attack. Here are some ideas we think are pretty good. Number 1, they can give his Warmonger's second slash a guaranteed critical strike. Pretty straightforward and easy to implement. Number 2, if they think that buff is too powerful, maybe giving him a temporary critical chance increase against cursed opponents is a good option. That way, his critical strikes are not guaranteed, and he needs to hit his target with his second skill in order for it to work. Number 3, return the permanent bonus physical attack his ultimate used to have. In our opinion, this is the most balanced buff they can add to the existing buffs he already has. How about you? What do you think? Remember, developers also base their decisions on videos like this, so if you are unhappy with the buff they gave Argus and want him to be more powerful, it's a wise decision to like this video and share it to your social media accounts. Of course, it is also a huge help if you will provide your suggestions to the customer service directly. Anyway, that concludes our Mobile Legends content for today. If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stay safe, everyone. Peace.